right. Welcome everyone to the first episode of Navigating Adulthood and IDD. I am very excited that the podcast's first guest is no one other than my smart, talented older sister, Sarah.
Bunny!
Hey, so Sarah, tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe where you're at, what you do.
Oh, I'm here in Fort Worth, Texas, the one close to Dallas. And I like to draw a lot of things to do animated cartoons for, yeah, I got this storyboard. Yeah, it's got here I call a Paleozoic yacht race. It was from some humorous thing I've read from a museum book.
Awesome. And so since this is a podcast, people will be just hearing this, but I can put show notes and we can send either like that picture in the show notes or we'll definitely share your Instagram too, where a lot of that artwork is as well.
And on my Instagram account is a public one, so everybody can see it.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. So this is a podcast about resources for adults with disabilities and disorders, and you have autism. So I was wondering if it was
Yeah,
okay to. Oh, yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
I functioning last I checked. It doesn't make sense to me because I think it'd be more of a disability issue than a lesser one.
Oh, that's interesting you say that. So, there is a lot of like talk in the disability community and people who work with them about how like that those labels of functioning are actually like uh, what's the word? They almost they're almost too labeling. Like if you say somebody is high functioning, you kind of disregard the support that they need. And then if you call someone really low functioning, you're kind of not looking at the strengths that they have. What do you think about that?
Nah, I just think the categories in itself is pretty confusing. But autism is a spectrum, meaning that yeah, it has like a range of symptoms.
That's true. So when you identify as like higher functioning, what does that mean to you?
Hmm. But I thought would mean like a more disabling kind of thing, but really it just refers to someone to be able to be more independent at stuff.
Yeah. Cool. So, how has autism affected your life, and what's kind of your relationship to it? And I'm kind of excited to ask you this question because I feel like even though I've known you for what, not 20, I was gonna say 29 years because you're 29, but it would be 24 because that's how old I am. For, so for the 24 years we've known each other, I feel like we haven't really discussed your autism too much. Like you've just kind of been my sister. So I'm interested to know your perspective about like what is your relationship to autism?
Yeah, and for one thing, I usually can't stand spicy foods.
You can't stand what?
Yeah, spicy foods. I mean,
Spicy
yeah, salt and
foods.
cinnamon I can tolerate, but when it comes to like anything like pepper or paprika, I can like only go so far. I mean, why
Yeah.
do people want to eat stuff that will like burn their mouths? That doesn't seem very
Do you,
nice.
do you have a really high sensitivity to it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I can't understand why.
So you don't eat anything our brother-in-law cooks because it's all spicy.
No, I haven't seen the Jackie's family that often.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
His
it was
food is very
increasingly so
spicy.
when the baby was born.
Yeah, yeah. That's very true. Oh, cool. Um, have you felt that you've received the same support as an adult than that you had as a child?
Yeah, it's a pretty different since you're like outside of the school system, but I've had some other people around me with the same ASD experiences, like Jordan White and Shenua from a friend. She's around the same area as you, I mean, but she does like these cute little diplo plushies she makes.
Oh, cool. I didn't know about that. That's awesome. Yeah, so you said it's a lot different. What's different than when you were in school?
Yeah, well, there's like, several accommodations that they set up for you, like giving you some personal space if you like, hyperreact to anything, or just giving you some time to snack on early. I mean, at least going back to kindergarten.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So they kind of like acknowledged like you needed those extra like snack breaks and then like kind of get out into the real world, the adult world, and people don't give extra snack break times as much, I guess.
But that
Mom
was
and
a.
dad.
I also had to go through like speech class my whole time since I like
Yeah.
used to pronouncing vocabulary words and some other social skills.
Oh yeah. And so then after school that just kind of stopped, right?
Well, that doesn't mean I can't stop talking, right?
No, you're very articulate. So I think all that speech paid off
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah. Goes to yeah, San Diego.
Yeah. Oh, was that one that you had trouble with?
Back in my elementary school, as I can remember.
Yeah, I remember CH was an issue for me. I was in speech a little bit.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. So as an adult, where do you think you could use more support um in your life right now?
well, right now, yeah, it's kind of hard to say since yeah, a lot of things have changed the past few months.
Very true.
I
That's
mean, it
true.
can make someone of the yeah spectrum yeah rather uncomfortable.
Yeah, I feel
Mhm.
like having a daily routine can really help people with autism and kind of knowing what's happening. And then in this climate, like everyone's routines are changed, you know? And so not only is everyone unsettled, but if you're used to kind of having those routines of support, this can be, I feel like, a really difficult time.
No, I mean, yeah, truth be told, I haven't like officially gotten the job yet, so you know, yeah, much of the routine things I've been doing since after I got out of college. So,
Yeah. Yeah, sounds like your routine hasn't been disrupted that much. So that's good. Are you doing okay with
yeah,
every
mm, I got like several things to keep me comfortable, like this Christmas present you gave me.
Sarah's holding up this awesome sequence pillow case that I gave her for Christmas. And it's the one where you like ruffle up all the sequins and make an awesome picture. She's got a beautiful star within a star.
Yeah, it's hard to do the diagonals on it.
Yeah, for sure. How did you do that? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's like several practices, really.
Very nice, very
Yeah,
nice.
it's a frequent yeah, stimming habit that keeps me comfortable.
Yeah, I got that idea because Denver has an autism community store, and in the store they had like a bunch of different things for like stimming and sensory. And I saw like the sequence pillow, and they had these really small ones. They were like this, they were very small. So
Mhm,
I went on Amazon and got a bigger one. But I was
mhm,
like, oh, because I remember you had liked the pillow that I had in my apartment. And I was like, oh, that's like
mhm,
it's a sensory thing, and it is, and I love doing it too. I Jackie got me a little Olaf plushie for Christmas. Jackie's one
mhm.
of our other sisters, and I play with the sequence on that all the time too. Awesome. Okay, what would you want someone to know before they work with you? So if you could tell a doctor, teacher, peer, therapist,
Mhm.
etc., what are kind of things they would need to know to kind of help support you the most?
Yeah, yeah. Hmm. I don't know. I just probably need to be reminded to like, yeah, keep my eyes well, yeah, focused to their faces and some other accommodations.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's cool that you can identify that for that kind of self advocacy level because I think people forget that like that a lot of people need reminders to do things too. So yeah, I think that's great. It's good. I try to be really patient with everyone I work with, just because I feel like everyone's got different stuff going on, and try to just learn about people as individuals.
Hmm.
Cool.
Nah, I think another suggestion is I do tend to take things literally.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point because if someone makes a joke that's kind of weird, you're. you might take it, you're going to take it literally, and then you're going to be like, well, you told me to do that. It's like, well, so good point, good point. You take English very literally, and that's not a bad thing at all. It's just something that somebody might need to know to support you so that everyone's on the same page. Because unfortunately, sarcasm is very popular these days and can be hard to read.
Yeah, I've heard it's supposed to run in our family. At least that's what our mom said.
Mom is very sarcastic, and then I think I'm a little. I'm pretty sarcastic. I think Emma's very sarcastic, our other sister. So, so listeners, if you've done the math, we have three sisters, four daughters total.
Yeah, Jackie's the oldest, then me, then you, and then Emma, and then Samantha.
Wait, we don't even know Samantha.
Yeah, I know, I was just making a joke.
I love it. But yeah, so Sarah and I are the middle children representing. So I started this podcast because as a music therapist, I went online and I couldn't find resources for adults with disabilities. Everything online was mostly like kid activities and things that you can, adapt and make work for an adult group. But I just thought it was weird that there wasn't anything for adults. So I kind of wanted to ask your opinion of the use of children's music. There's a lot of debate sometimes with professionals. Is it appropriate to use in an adult group?
Well, I think that depends on, what kind of adults we're dealing with. I mean, as far as I know, there's, some adults in our world that handle the sugar job, you know what I mean?
Wait, can't handle the sugar job?
Yeah, over sweetening the situations like you might see with some preschool shows.
Yeah, and I think that's why
And
some
just,
therapists,
just can't really relate to it within their lives.
yeah, and I think some therapists, like you're saying, avoid it because they don't want to treat adults like children if they want to be treated as adults.
Mm.
But I think it's a fine line because, like, I love Disney music. I'm an adult, so, and that could be kid music. So it's kind of figuring out
Well, I
what,
can't understand why it doesn't should be called kid music. I mean, it definitely has a list of number of composers, since the very beginning.
good point. I was just playing Do the Next Right Thing from Frozen 2, and I find like the lyrics are really complicated, like the chords are complicated. I'm like, this is kind of kids' music, but I mean, it's definitely not like a really simple song somebody would
It's an
come up with. There's
original masterpiece.
agreed, agreed. So yeah, so for me as a professional, I would never use Twinkle Twinkle Little Star with a group of adults, especially maybe if I'm meeting them for the first time. Just because I want to make sure they're being treated as adults. But then I think from there and learning about people as individuals, if somebody really, 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 really loves Sesame Street, like I think it's fine. Also, that music's also really good music. So especially like classic Sesame Street, like
Mhm.
Sing a Song, that is hard to play. That is a great song.
Yeah, from the book I've read, I think it was originally written in Spanish.
Oh wow, cool. That's even better. So yeah, it's just finding that balance. Of like what people like and versus treating them as an adult. Have you ever been kind of treated younger than your age and it's like frustrated you?
Not really. I mean, something I don't like to, not see myself as being that old. I mean,
Yeah.
even by my short-handed appearance alone, some people think that my mom and I are sisters, young sisters.
Oh, oh, that's awesome. Oh, cool. I mean, I think everyone's different too, and like you said, you're very verbal, so I don't imagine people are going to treat you like like a young child. Where adults that are nonverbal, I feel like have a harder time with that sometimes. Sometimes. So that's cool that for the most part you feel like people have treated you a pretty good way.
Have you tried taking Latin? I mean, those courses can really sharpen your vocabulary in English.
Oh yeah, you probably know way more than I do because I did not take Latin. You know all the roots, I do not.
Yeah, and I noticed that the verb roots and the tenses, tenses there are very similar in Spanish.
Oh, cool. I didn't take Spanish either.
Well,
Well,
I've been
cool. Well,
watching like this one Spanish speaking series, long story there.
oh yeah. Makes sense. Well, that was all of my questions. Is there anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to plug?
Oh, well, I mean, it'd be nice to give, older autistic people some like puzzles to play with. Even the more challenging things, like you see this piece here, it goes in there, and look, it's a ball.
Oh, cool. So she's holding up this puzzle ball that has different pieces. We'll have to figure out what that's called and maybe put a link to it so if somebody wanted to buy their own. That's very
Well,
cool.
I had done a similar thing back at starting high school with a cube. I mean, it's like building your own Rubik's cube with the ropes and putting it all like a 3D cube form. I mean, I actually wrote a whole paper detailing it. I drew it for my school counselor because there was like very few people that can actually solve that puzzle.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know if I could solve a puzzle like that.
Well, I was pretty lucky the first time, so I had to like write the instructions down backwards to figure out how.
Oh, that's funny. You accidentally did it, and then you're like, wait, how did I do that? That's awesome. Well, Sarah, it's been awesome talking with you, and we will make sure your Instagram is in the show notes for everybody to check out your art too. And yeah, thanks for telling a little bit about yourself and chatting with me for a little bit.
Yeah, you're welcome, Bonnie.
I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation with Sarah as much as I did. I was really nervous to interview her, as I talked about a little bit. I had never actually talked to my sister about her autism before, so I found it really insightful and refreshing to hear her perspectives on it. And I felt like she had a lot of good insight on different sensory tips and really self-aware about her own self-advocacy needs as well too. And I just had a great time talking with her, and I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. It was pretty casual, just two sisters having a good time and making some Frozen jokes. So to kind of wrap up the episode a little bit, we're going to do a segment on session plans, music therapy session plans for adults with IDD. So I've been really seeing on social media, starting, I think it was in December 2019, a monthly or bi-monthly session plan for adults with IDD, with different music therapy and music groups that I do. So every episode I want to go over one of these plans a little bit, and share it with you guys as well. So I'm sharing today the January session plan, but a lot of it I feel like can be adaptive to any time of the year as well. So for hello, I sing a piggyback of La Bamba, and then we play We Will Rock You, doing some drumming. We continue the drumming with Can You Copy Me, with some groups echoing rhythms. Then we made a rainstorm with various rhythmic percussion instruments. Then we did a songwriting to What Do You Wish For in the New Year, which was actually Music Therapy Ed's Project Campfire's free intervention of January 2020. Then we did a small jam session to Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. Then we did Scarves as a kind of wind down with Kabasa going around as well. And we ended the session with Na Na Hey Hey Kiss Him Goodbye. So that was my January session plan. So the only one that's really timely was What Do You Wish For in the New Year, which I feel like could be changed to What Do You Wish For in general. You just say What Do You Wish For. So for more details on these individual activities and interventions, I am opening a Patreon community for podcast listeners. So, for a small monthly fee, you can join the Navigator community and become a navigator, where I will break down the activities, answer questions on them, and provide extra resources such as visuals that might go along with the interventions as well. And then it will be an interactive group where I can answer questions and you guys can share your ideas as well. And Patreon listeners, Tier 1 gets early access to the episode as well as an ad-free version. And Tier 2 gets the monthly session plan breakdown as well as possible bloopers if there are any, extra resources from guest interviewers if provided, and any minisodes if they occur. So the monthly thing is the one thing that's always going to happen, always going to be provided, and hopefully kind of create a community to talk about resources for adults with disabilities. So if you would like to join this Patreon community and get the next episode early, you can go to patreon.com and backdash is backdash the right word? Backslash navigating adulthood and IDD. And that's all one word, and it will be in the show notes along with some of the awesome resources that Sarah provided and talked about. Her Instagram will be there as well. Thank you guys so much for listening to episode 1. I am really looking forward to continuing this journey as we collect some resources for working with adults with disabilities, as well as hearing from some of them as well, like hearing Sarah's awesome perspectives today. So I hope you guys all take care, and I'll catch you in the next episode. This podcast is by Rhythmic Roots Music Therapy, with content and music produced by Bonnie Hout. Thanks for listening.